Alright you guys, I forgot to say this in the main video. If you're watching this review and you haven't seen this movie, don't watch this review because we're going to be talking major spoilers. Even though this is the biggest movie of all time, if you haven't seen it, don't watch this review. Because we absolutely can't talk about this movie without talking about spoilers. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, what's going on guys? My name is Noah Cartee. Welcome back to another video. And today is a different type of video on this channel, as you can probably tell by the title. And today we have a movie review for you guys. And for this first movie review on my channel, bear with me by the way, we have a movie that holds close to my heart and probably millions of others. And for this first movie review, as you can obviously tell by the title, we have the movie of Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame is close to a culmination of over 22 movies over the span of 11 years called the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I remember as a little kid seeing the first Iron Man movie. I don't know how I saw it or when I saw it, but I knew it was like 11 years ago whenever the MCU started. But I remember seeing that movie and I was just amazed by it. Iron Man instantly became my favorite superhero next to Spider-Man, and I wanted more from him. I wanted more of it because Robert Downey Jr., I don't know, he was born to play Iron Man. And watching him over 11 years, I remember seeing Iron Man 2 in 2010 in theaters with my family, and I remember seeing the first Avengers movie in 2012 with my grandma and my siblings, and it was just awesome. It was just awesome. There was just nothing ever done like that, bringing every superhero together that was in Marvel. And I don't know why, I just something drew me to Tony Stark as a character, because he was this arrogant, selfish playboy millionaire, and then he finally humbled himself and knew what he had to do in order to save the world. And he built himself a suit of armor, and he did what no one else could or would do. He finally had a realization of what needed to be done to save the world. That's actually what I love about it, because you can see character development. And as a little kid, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what character development was. I just loved the superhero. I just loved the action. And honestly, Tony Stark is actually one of my favorite fictional characters of all time right now. And in Endgame, it shows his development over the years and how far he has come as a human being. And that's what I love about Marvel. It shows you human traits in these characters with supernatural abilities. It's probably one of my favorite things ever. Avengers Endgame was directed by Joe and Anthony Russo, who have also directed Captain America Civil War, Captain America Winter Soldier, Avengers Infinity War, and now Endgame. They were the perfect directors for the job. They understand a lot of their characters. And I love how different they made Endgame from Infinity War. Infinity War is more high action. It's more fast paced. It's more trying to stop Thanos. Everybody's coming together to try to stop him. Endgame is taking a step back, focusing on our original 6 characters and what other characters that we have that's left over from the snap, like Rocket Raccoon, Nebula, Okoye, Captain Marvel, War Machine, everybody else. Focusing on the emotional state of their characters and more treating them more human, like having us relate to them more, which is what I really love about it. I just love how these two movies are connected but different at the same time. It's absolutely mind-blowing, and I love the way they did that. We're not going to talk about the whole movie. We're going to talk about my favorite parts of the movie and how they executed it. I really love the idea of the 5-year gap. It shows how everybody has coped with everything going on, which I'm sure mostly everybody didn't really cope with it well. We have Cap hosting a group meeting trying to help everybody cope with what happened, because not everybody can really cope with what's going on. And then we have Natasha leading the Avengers, trying to stop whatever threat's gonna happen, which is really dope. I like that too. She's also having Rhodey, War Machine, go and look for Hawkeye, because Hawkeye is out there killing people that Thanos should have snapped away, which is really cool. I like that. We have Tony Stark, who got a second chance. He had a kid. He got married to Pepper, is living a pretty simple life out in the forest in a cabin by the lake, which is really cool. I liked how he got that. And then we have Thor, who's really depressed, who became really fat, started drinking a whole lot because of his failure. He's still messed up over the fact that he didn't go for the head with Thanos and how he killed Thanos, but he didn't bring everybody back. He's also depressed over the fact of how he lost Loki, how he lost his father and his mother. Everything was boiled up inside of him and finally took its course. which is really cool. I think I knew that was gonna happen too at one point. And then we have Banner, who became Professor Hulk, put the bronze and brains together, which is really cool. That was actually one of the theories that I had. I didn't know how they were going to handle him, but I liked how they did it. We have Ant-Man, who came out of the quantum realm. He thought it was 5 hours, but then it turned into 5 years later. He saw this monument of the vanished, but he found his name instead of his daughter's. He was looking for his daughters, and then he went to his house, and he saw his daughter 5 years older than she was from the events of Ant-Man and the Wasp, which was really cool. I like that. And he's just in utter disbelief. That was just really cool. And what I love about all of that, like checking in with the characters, is because Endgame is a very self-aware movie, because it knows how deeply invested we are into these characters in these past 11 years, which was absolutely amazing. Another really great part that I love about this movie is the time heist. Complete fan service, alright? Complete fan service. So everybody goes into a different time. There's 3 stones in New York in 2012, there's 1 in 2013, and then there's 2 in 2014. We have Banner, Cap, Tony, and Scott going into the 2012, where it's the Battle of New York in the first Avengers movie. Cap gets the Mind Stone saying Hail Hydra, knowing that those SHIELD agents were actually Hydra from Winter Soldier, which was so dope. Me and my friends were freaking out. Then Tony and Scott fail like trying to get the Tesseract because Hulk took the stairs and he didn't want to, and he was really mad, bumped into Tony. Tesseract fell out of the case, and Loki disappears. And then we have the Loki Disney Plus show, which I hope they do something really good with that in all the other Disney Plus shows that are coming as a result of Endgame. We have 2012 Captain America and 2023 Captain America. 2012 Captain America thinks that present day Cap is Loki, and then they get into this fight, throwing their shields everywhere, and it's actually really amazing. Probably one of the best fight sequences in the movie. The special effects on that was insane. Looked completely real. Present day Cap obviously wins the fight, and he says Bucky's alive, throws 2012 Cap off guard, puts him to sleep with the Mind Stone, which was amazing. Another part is where Thor and Rocket travel back to 2013 in Asgard at the time of Dark World, the day his mother dies. Thor runs away. He's talked to his mom. His mom says that he's still enough. She pretty much helps him out of his depression in a little bit. And Thor gets Mjolnir back, still knows that he's worthy, and then takes it back, which is cool. Another really great part of that is whenever Tony and Cap travel back to 1970, Cap goes and gets some more Pym particles because they only had 1 each to go back there at the military base. And then Tony gets the Tesseract, but he runs into his father, Howard Stark, and they shared this deep moment that Tony never got to share with his father earlier in his life, which is actually really cool. It's actually really good closure for them, and that's what I love about it. That's what I really wanted for Tony, just to maybe see his father again, or maybe have a really cool moment with his father. It was really unexpected too, but they handled it so well, and they had a really good conversation about fatherhood and how it's gonna be all right. Then after that, we get to see Jarvis helping out Howard into the car, which is cool. I love that so much. Of course, 2014 Thanos had to find out somehow. Present day Nebula breaks down after they find the Power Stone, which was terrible, but it was also a really good way of bringing a threat. And then we have one of the most emotional parts in the movie, which was also one of my favorite parts of the movie. Natasha and Clint are on Vormir trying to get the Soul Stone. He knows soul for soul. You have to sacrifice a person for the Soul Stone. And Clint and Nat are fighting each other, seeing who gets to go, because they weren't trying to they were trying to stop each other from going off the cliff while trying to sacrifice themselves. Nat falls off the cliff, she dies, which was actually crazy. I teared up during that moment. And then everybody meets back up. Time heist was full of fan service. It was just insane. We're gonna fast forward to where Thor becomes Viking Thor. He wields both Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. Oh my gosh. He has that braided beard, and then his hair looks all cool. Probably my favorite version of Thor in the MCU. So Thanos has Thor pinned down, Iron Man's knocked out. Thanos is pushing Stormbreaker into Thor's chest. You see Mjolnir slowly lift up. See it hit Thanos, calls back. Captain America has Mjolnir. He's worthy. Like everybody suspected in Age of Ultron, which is crazy. I love that. And then he just starts pummeling Thanos. Then Thanos comes back and then just beats up Cap. actually destroys the indestructible shield. That must have been a really strong sword. And then my favorite part of the movie is where Cap gets up from being beat by Thanos. Shield's all broken and everything. There's this cool shot, probably the best shot of the movie. It's far away. It's like a far away kind of shot. It shows Cap just on a hill, and then in the distance there's Thanos' army coming out and rallying up. And it's so, that shot was just beautiful. And Cap was ready to go fight that army just by himself. But then all of a sudden he hears, Cap, you there? On your left. Doctor Strange portal opens. Here comes Black Panther and his army. And then you see Doctor Strange, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Spider-Man. Spider-Man had one of the coolest shots in the movie as well whenever he came back. Literally everybody and their mom comes back. I swear. Everybody's rallying up. Cap says, Avengers, assemble. Finally, we hear him say that. And then everybody just goes at it, dude. One of the best battles in cinema history. Like, are you kidding me? Everybody that we've ever seen in the Marvel Universe comes together. Even when Pepper comes back in the rescue armor, Tony and Pepper are fighting side by side. That was awesome. And then Tony and Peter Parker got that one father-son reunion type of thing because their relationship was kind of like that in the MCU. Peter's just telling him what happened, and then Tony just gives him a hug. Like, it's just amazing. It's everything anybody would have wanted. And then Tony meets up with Doctor Strange, says, out of the 14,605 outcomes, is this the one we win? And then he says, if I tell you, then it won't happen. One of my favorite sayings in this movie. And then one of the most, like, important parts of this movie, when Tony and Thanos are going at it for the stones. Thanos has the Infinity Gauntlet on. Tony's trying to get the stones away from him. He gets knocked away. Thanos snaps his fingers, says, I am inevitable. And it doesn't work. And then Tony's on his knees and he has the stone and he says, I am Iron Man. And then everybody turns to dust. All of the enemies turn to dust. But then after that, Tony Stark finally passes away. What got me really emotional, I was crying, is when Peter started crying and then Pepper said, we'll be okay, you can rest now. That got to me, man. It was an ending for Tony Stark's character that just made sense. As much as I hate it that he's gone, that was a really good ending for his character. Then we have that funeral scene. It says, I love you 3000. This is like another great part of the movie. It's right at the end. Cap takes back the stones and he makes the timeline go back to normal. He misses his timestamp. And then Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier, sees Cap as an old man. Sam goes over there, Falcon. Cap gives him the shield. He asks about the ring and he says, I don't want to tell you. And then it cuts to Steve and Peggy finally reuniting. And they're finally having that dance and end credits roll. The emotion in this movie, I've never gotten emotional at a movie ever. And Marvel Studios did that to me. And that was crazy. That's amazing, and I love that. Literally one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. The only one part that I didn't like about that was a female little entourage that they got. And I'm not saying that female superheroes are bad, it's just that it was a little bit forced for their political agenda, but it's whatever. I don't like when politics are in my movies, that's just my personal preference. But either way, they stopped Thanos. I'm just gonna throw that out there. It's not that female superheroes are bad, they're absolutely amazing. Just don't like my politics in those movies, man, for real. Just because of how forced it usually is, you feel. But either way, this movie is one of the only movies I give a perfect score 10 out of 10. Now, not all movies are perfect, but it's probably the best movie I've ever seen single-handedly. It put me on this emotional roller coaster, and that's how it automatically is one of the best movies I've ever seen, because they handled it so well. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. Quoting Thanos right there. But yeah, guys, anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this movie review. Hope you guys liked it. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Should I keep doing movie reviews? Tell me whether or not in the comments. But also turn on post notifications, and instead of the personalized ones, turn on all notifications so you guys know whenever I upload. But yeah, guys, anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.